Shabbat shalom, peace and love, Shabbat shalom. We'll be reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 31 to chapter 34. Bear with me as I try to get through this, Yah willing. The book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 1. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, verse 2, See, I have called by name Bet Salel, son of Ure, son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehuda. Verse 3. And I have filled him with the spirit of Elohim in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all work. So this is a clear indication. This is a clear indication that the Most High fills. He's able to fill anyone with the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So we see that knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is a spirit that the Most High fills you with. It says, and I have filled him with the spirit of Elohim in wisdom and in knowledge, in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge. So this is the spirit of This is the spirit of Elohim. The spirit of Elohim, the spirit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is the spirit of Elohim that the Most High fills you with. This is not a given. It's not something that you fill yourself with. This is what the Most High fills you with. It's what the Most High provides. This is what the Most High provides. You know, this is what the Most High spoke to Moses. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 1. It says, and Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, verse 2, See, I have called by name Betzalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehuda. Verse 3, and I have filled him with the spirit of Elohim in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all work. And in all work. So this is the Most High filling this person with the spirit of Elohim, the spirit of Elohim in wisdom, the spirit of Elohim in understanding, the spirit of Elohim in knowledge, and in all work. Verse 4, to make designs for work in gold and in silver and in bronze. Verse 5, and in cutting stones for setting and in carving wood and into work in all work. So this anyone who's good at, arts and craft and architecture and building and, designing and decorating and all that, that's the spirit of Elohim. That's something that the Most High provided you with. That's the spirit of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and in all work that the Most High provided you with in order to carry out, you know, to conduct your art, to carry out your art, your craft, your designing, your decorating, your architecting. That's that's a spirit. That's a gift from the Most High. Verse 6, I have appointed with him Aheliab, son of Ahisabak, of this tribe of Dan, and I have put wisdom in the hearts of everyone who is wise hearted, and they shall make all that I have commanded you. This is what the Most High is telling Moses. He said, I have put wisdom in the hearts of everyone who is wise hearted. Everyone who is wise hearted. And they shall make all that I have commanded you. Verse 7, the tent of appointment, and the ark of the witness, and the lid of atonement that is on it, and all the utensils of the tent. Verse 8, and the table and the utensils, and the table and its utensils, and the clean gold lampstand with all its utensils, and the slaughter place of incense. Verse 9, and the slaughter place of ascending offering with all its utensils, and the basin and its stand. Verse 10, and the woven garments and the set apart garments of Aaron the priest, and the garments of his son for serving as priests. Before I forget, I got to underline this key verse where it says, he has filled them with the spirit of Elohim in wisdom and in understanding and knowledge and all work. Like we can't overlook that. Also, where he says, and I have put wisdom in the hearts of everyone who is wise hearted. Everyone who is wise hearted. The Most High put wisdom in their hearts. Everyone who is wise hearted, the Most High put wisdom in their hearts. It's not their own understanding. Verse 11, and anointing oil and sweet incense for the set apart place, according to all that I have commanded you, they are to do. Verse 12, and Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, verse 13, and you speak to the children of Yisrael, saying, my Sabbaths you are to guard by all means, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations to know that I, Yahuwah, am setting you apart. So we see that the Sabbath, carrying out the Sabbath, is a sign. Resting on Shabbat is a sign. Keeping Shabbat set apart is a sign. By all means, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations to know that I, Yahuwah, am setting you apart. So you can't call yourself set apart if you're not resting on the Shabbat. If you're not resting on the Sabbath, you can't consider yourself, you know, set apart if you're not resting on Shabbat, if you're not, setting Shabbat apart. You know what I mean? So yeah, verse 14, and you shall guard the Sabbath, for it is set apart to you. Everyone who profanes it shall certainly be put to death. For anyone who does work on it, that being should be cut off from among his people. Verse 15, 6 days work is done, and on the seventh is a Sabbath of rest, a set apart, a Sabbath of rest, set apart to Yahuwah. Everyone doing work on the Sabbath day shall certainly be put to death. Now, the Most High goes about these, carrying out these, punishments. Now, today is not up to us to carry these out. It's the Most High who carries these out. Eventually, this is what will, you know, come to those who don't follow his instructions, those who don't obey his commands. He might not get you today, he might not get you tomorrow, he may not get you next week, he may not get you next month. He's going to get you. You don't go unpunished. No one goes unpunished disobeying his his commands. No one goes unpunished not following his instructions. Because what, in all actuality, following his instructions is basically the basic instructions for life. You know what I mean? It's to keep you safe. It ain't like it's the base is literally to keep you safe. His instructions is to keep you safe. His instructions is to keep you healthy. His instructions is to keep you, you know, out of danger. So why wouldn't you want to follow instructions on how to be safe? Follow instructions on how to be healthy. You know what I mean? Verse uh verse 16. And the children of Israel should guard the Sabbath, to perform the Sabbath throughout their generations as an everlasting covenant, a everlasting covenant, a everlasting covenant. This is an everlasting covenant. The Sabbath isn't done away with. You can't just pick and choose what day you do it on. Verse 17, between me and the children of Israel, it is a sign forever. Between me and the children of Israel, it's a sign forever. So honoring the Shabbat is a sign forever. Keeping the Shabbat set apart is a sign forever between us and the Most High. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. Verse 18, and when he had ended speaking with him on the Mount Sinai, he gave Moshe 2 tablets of the witness, tablets of stone written with finger of Elohim. So it's the Most High who wrote this. The Most High who wrote this. The finger of God wrote this. The fingers of God wrote this. It's the fingers of God that wrote this. Chapter 32, verse 1. And when the people saw that Moshe was so long in coming down from the mountain, the people gathered together to Aaron and said to him, arise, make us mighty ones who go before us. For this Moshe, the man who brought us up out of the land of Mizraim, we do not know what has become of him. Verse 2. And Aaron said to them, take off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me. So Aaron didn't even he didn't even attempt to, you know, talk some sense in him. He just, this is a clear indication that majority rules most people. You know, peer pressure, it overcomes most people. Being outnumbered, being the oddball out overcomes most people. And this is Aaron. He was outnumbered by the people. His brother was the only one he knew. Everyone else, they were like strangers, but it were numbers in those strangers. And it was them against Aaron. So they told Aaron, like, yo, man, like, you got to make us something to worship, make us something to worship, because we don't know what happened to Moses. He been gone for this, he been gone. We don't know where what happened to main man. And he was a main man to them as in a stranger, how we say in Philly, main man. A lot of strangers, people that we don't really know, or people we won't really deal with, we call them main man. So that's he was like a main man to all those strangers. Like they didn't really have no connection to Moses, other than him leading them out of you know Misraim, out of Egypt. But they were like they were thankful of just that. They weren't they didn't have no tight bond with Moses. So they like, man, you got to replace Moses. You got to give us something to worship. So this is what Aaron, outnumbered by the people, told them to take off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me. Verse 3. And all the people took off the golden earrings which were in the ears and brought them to Aaron. Verse 4. And he took this from their hand. This is Aaron carrying this out. And he took this from their hand and he formed it with an engraving tool and made a molten calf. And they said, This is your mighty one, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Mizraim. So Aaron then carved this image, he done carved this calf, he done engraved this, calf together and got the people, now the people saying this is your Elohim. This is your mighty one. And yeah, granted, man, Aaron did this out of fear of being outnumbered by the people. They would have tried to do something to him if he didn't did it. He didn't do this. That doesn't justify it at all. That doesn't justify it at all. He just wasn't strong as Moses was. You know, he wasn't strong as Moses was. Verse 5, and Aaron saw and built a slaughter place before it, and Aaron called out and said, tomorrow is a festival to Yahuwah. He just a mess, man. A whole mess. As soon as Moses, you know, isn't present, all mess break loose. Verse 6. And they rose early on the next day and offered ascending offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Carrying on like some daggone hooligans. Verse 7, and Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, go, get down, for your people whom you brought out of the land of Mizraim have corrupted themselves. Verse 8, they have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made themselves a molded calf and have bowed themselves to it and slaughtered to it and said, this is your mighty one, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim. Verse 9, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, I have seen this people, and see, it is a stiff-necked people. Same people of today was the same people then. Stiff-necked people. Verse 10, and now let me alone that my wrath might burn against them, and I consume them, and I make of you a great nation. Verse 11, but Moshe pleaded with Yahuwah his Elohim and said, Yahuwah, why does your wrath burn against your people whom you have brought out of the land of Mizraim with great power and with a strong hand? Verse 12, why should the Mizraites speak and say, for evil he brought them out to unalive them in the mountains and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from the heat of your wrath and relent from this evil to your people. Verse 13. Remember Abraham, Yishak, and Yisrael, your servants, to whom you swore by yourself and said to them, I increase your seed like the stars of the heavens, and all the land that I have spoken of I give to your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. Verse 14, and Yahuwah relented from the evil which he said he would do to his people. So Moshe negotiated the lives of the people. He negotiated the lives of the people because the Most High was done with him. Most High was done with him. He was ready to do it. He was ready to do away with them all and just start fresh with Moses. But Moses, talked them out of it. Verse 15, Moshe turned and went down from the mountain, and in his hand were the two tablets of the witness, tablets written on both their sides, written on one and on the other. Verse 16, and the tablets were the work of Elohim, and the writing was writing of Elohim engraved on the tablets. Verse 17, and Yehoshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, and he said to Moshe, a noise of battle in the camp. Verse 18, but he said, it is not the sound of those who shout of might, or it is not the sound of those who shout of might, nor is it the sound of those who cry out in weakness, but the sound of singing that I hear. Verse 19, and it came to be, as soon as he came near the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moshe's displeasure burnt, and he threw the tablets out of his hands and broke them at the foot of the mountain. Verse 20, and he took the calf which they had made and burnt it in the fire and ground it into powder and scattered it on the face of the water and made the children of Israel drink it. Mm. Verse 21, and Moshe said to Aaron, what did this people do to you that you have brought a great sin upon them? Good question. Verse 22, and Aaron said, do not let the displeasure of my master burn. That is, the people that it is in evil. So basically, like, these stiff necks, these people are like relentless. They he kind of blamed the people, like, what I mean, like, but you also played the part in it, Aaron, like, yeah, you were outnumbered, but that's no excuse. Verse 23, and they said to me, make us mighty ones who go before us. For this Moshe, the man who brought us out of the land of Mizraim, we do not know what has become of him. Verse 24, and I said to them, whoever has gold, let them take it off. And they gave it to me, and I threw it into the fire, and this calf came out. He remixed that whole story. That's not what happened. He actually carved that calf into a golden calf, and yeah, it didn't. He made it seem like he threw everybody jewelry into the fire, and what came out was the calf. No, Aaron, that's not what happened. Verse 25, and Moses saw that the people were let loose, for Aaron had let them loose to their shame among their enemies. Verse 26, and Moshe stood in the entrance of the camp and said, who is for Yahuwah? Come to me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves to him. Here we go. Verse 27, and he said to them, thus said Yahuwah Elohim of Israel, each one put his sword on his side, pass over to and from gate to gate in the camp, and each one unalive his brother, and each one his friend, and each one his relative. It's something really heavy to ask someone to do, to carry out. That would be just, that would be considered very extreme nowadays. Tell a person to go take out their relatives, go take out their brother, go take out their sibling, go take out their friend. Yeah. Verse 18. And the sons of Levi did according to the word of Moshe and brought did according to the word of Moshe, and about 3,000 men of the people fell that day. Verse 29. And Moshe said, you are ordained for Yahuwah today, since each one has been against his son and his brother, so as to bring upon you a blessing today. Verse 30. And it came to be on the next day that Moshe said to the people, you have sinned a great sin, and now I am going to Yahuwah if I might atone for your sin. Verse 31. And Moshe returned to Yahuwah and said, oh, these people have sinned against, oh, these people have sinned a great sin. And we see that a great sin is basically worshiping, you know, worshiping the Most High and with a carved image, or worshiping another entity that you believe exists other than the Most High. We see this, that's a great sin. Verse 32. And now, if you would forgive their sin, but if not, please blot me out of your book which you have written. The book which you have. So we see that the Most High is an offer, man. The Most High is he. We see that he wrote on the tablets in the prior chapter. He himself wrote on the chapter. I'm sorry, he himself wrote on the tablets in the prior chapter, in chapter 31, verse 18. And now we're seeing, Moses, we see that Moses is saying that, he can blot him out, you know, of the book which he have written. And now if you would forgive their sin, but if not, please blot me out of your book which you have written. Hmm. Moses is like putting his life on the line, his everlasting life on the line. Not only his life, but his everlasting life on the line for these people. Like Moses was a different one, man. He was a real one up until, the only begotten son came along. But Moses was the closest thing to that. Moses laid his life on the line for his people, starting with the people starting with the people that were getting picked on by the Egyptian, and he did what he did to the Egyptian, to the Mizraim. And now, him negotiating and trying to talk the Most High out of doing away with the people, and like telling the Most High that, pretty much let me pay for the people sins. Like verse 33. And Yahuwah said to Moses, whoever has sinned against me, I blot him out of the book. Verse 34. And now go, lead the people to the place of which I have spoken to you. See, my messenger goes before you, and in the day of my visitation I shall visit their sin upon them. The day of my visitation. Verse 35. And Yahuwah plagued the people before and Yahuwah plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made. Which Aaron made. chapter 33, verse 1. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, Come, go up from there. Come, go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Mizraim, to the land of which I swore to Abraham, to Yishak, and to Jacob, saying, To your seed I give it. Verse 2, and shall send my messenger before you, and I shall drive out the Canaanites and the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Verse 3, to a land flowing with milk and honey, for I do not go up in your midst because you are a stiff necked people, lest I consume you on the way. So Moses didn't, I mean, the Most High didn't want to even, he didn't want to be around these people anymore. Like, this is where he decided that he was going to, like, separate himself from these people. Verse 4, and when the people heard this evil word, they mourned, and no one put on his ornaments. Verse 5, and Yahuwah said to Moses, say to the children of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. Should I go up in your midst for one moment, I shall consume you. And now take off your ornaments, and I shall know what to do with you. So yeah, these whatever ornaments, carved image, carved, jewelry, the Most High wasn't with it. You know, he wasn't with it at all. You know what I mean? Verse 6, so the children of Israel took off their ornaments at Mount Horeb. Verse 7, and Moshe took his tent and pitched it outside the camp, far from the camp, and called it the tent of appointment. And it came to be that everyone who sought Yahuwah went out to the tent of appointment, which was outside the camp. Verse 8, and it came to be, whatever Moshe went out to the tent, that all the people rose, and each man stood at his tent door and watched Moshe until he entered the tent. Verse 9, and it came to be, when Moshe entered the tent, that the column of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tent, and he spoke with Moshe. So this cloud, which, it appears took the presence of the Most High, this cloud spoke to Moshe. Verse 10, and all the people saw the column of a cloud standing at the tent of door, and all the people rose and bowed themselves, each one at the door of his tent. Verse 11, thus Yahuwah spoke to Moshe face to face. Yahuwah spoke to Moshe face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. It took me so long to find this verse. But yeah, like I remember I used to confuse that with like the Most High calling Moses his friend. But it's just say Yahuwah spoke to Moshe face to face, as a man speak to his friend. And he would return to the camp, and this servant Yahushua, son of Nun, a young man, did not leave the tent. Verse 12, and Moshe said to Yahuwah, see, you are saying to me, bring up this people, but you have not made known to me whom you would send with me, though you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found favor in my eyes. Verse 13, and now, please, if I have found favor in your eyes, please show me your way and let me know you, so that I find favor in your eyes, and this Consider that this nation is your people. Verse 14, he said, My presence does my presence does go, and I shall give you rest. Verse 15, and he said to him, If your presence if your presence is not going, do not lead us up from here. Verse 16, for how then shall it be known that I have found favor in your eyes, I and your people, except you go with us? Then we shall be distinguished, I and your people, from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. Verse 17, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, Even this word you have spoken I shall do, for you have found favor in my eyes, and I know you by name. Verse 18, then he said, Please show me your esteem. Verse 19, and he said, I shall cause all my goodness to pass before you, and I shall proclaim the name of Yahuwah before you, and I shall favor him whom I favor, and shall have compassion on him whom I have compassion. Verse 20, but he said, You are unable to see my face, for no man does see me and live. For no man does see me and live. For no man does see me and live. No man does see me and live. I can go a lot of places with that verse. But we're gonna keep reading. Verse 21. And Yahuwah said, See, there is a place with me, and you shall stand on the rock. Verse 22, and it shall be while my esteem passes by that I shall put you in the cleft of the rock and cover you with my hand while I pass by. Verse 23, then I shall take away my hand and you shall see my back, and my face shall not be seen. Pardon my back. Most High pretty much said, pardon my back. Chapter 34, verse 1. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, Cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and I shall write on these tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. So, like, yeah, I got to do this over because you broke the first ones. You broke the first tablets, so I got to write this again. And this is the Most High writing this himself. It's the Most High writing this himself. You know what I mean? Verse 2, and be ready in the morning. Then you shall come up in the morning to Mount Sinai and present yourself to me there on the top of the mountain. Verse 3, and let no man come up with you, and let no man be seen in all the mountain, and let not even the flock or the herd feed in the front of that mountain. Verse 4, and he cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones. Then Moshe rose early in the morning and went up Mount Sinai, as Yahuwah had commanded him. And he took 2 tablets of stone in his hand. Verse 5, and Yahuwah came down in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name Yahuwah. Verse 6, and Yahuwah passed before him and proclaim Yahuwah, Yahuwah, and El, compassionate and showing favor, patient, and great in loving commitment and truth. Watching, verse 7, watching over loving commitment for thousands, forgiving crookedness and transgression and sin, but by no means leaving unpunished by no means leaving unpunished, forgiving crookedness and transgression and sin, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers upon the children and the children's children to the third and fourth generation. Verse 8. And Moshe hurried and bowed himself toward the earth and did obeisance. Verse 9 said, If now I have found favor in your eyes, O Yahuwah, I pray, let Yahuwah go on in our midst, even though we are a stiff necked people, and forgive our crookedness and our sin, and take us as your inheritance. Verse So wait, and Moses hurried and bowed himself toward the earth and did obeisance, and said, If now I have found favor in your eyes, O Yahuwah, I pray, let Yahuwah go on in our midst, even though we are a stiff necked people. So he's concluding himself with this people, like we are a stiff necked people. Verse 10 And he said, See, I am making a covenant before all your people. I am going to do wonders such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation in all the people among whom you are shall see the work of Yahuwah. For what I am doing with you is awesome. Verse 11 guard what I command you today. See, I am driving out from before you the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Hittite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. Verse 12 Guard yourself lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you are going, lest it be a snare in your midst. Verse 13, but break down their slaughter places and smash their pillars and cut down their sharing. Verse 14, for you do not bow yourselves to another mighty one. For Yahuwah, whose name is a jealous El. Whose name is jealous is a jealous El. The Most High, whose name is jealous, is a jealous El. Verse 15, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they whore after their mighty ones, and slaughter to their mighty ones, and one after them invites you, and you eat of his slaughterings. We got a lot of this going on today, and it's overlooked. Verse 16, and you take of his daughters for your sons, and his daughters whore after their mighty ones, and make your sons whore again after their mighty ones. A lot of this going on today, and it's overlooked. Verse 17, do not make a molded mighty one for yourselves. Verse 18, guard the festival of Matzah. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, in the appointed time of the new moon of Abib, because in the new moon of Abib you came out from Mizraim. Verse 19, everyone opening the womb is mine, and every male firstborn among your livestock, whether bull or sheep. Verse 20, but the firstborn of a donkey you ransom with a lamb, and if you do not ransom, then you shall break its neck. Every firstborn of your sons you shall ransom, and they shall not appear before me empty handed. Verse 21. 6 days you work, but on the seventh day you rest. In plowing time and in harvest you rest. Verse 22, and perform the festival of Shavuot for yourself, of the first fruits of wheat, harvest, and festival of ingathering at the turn of the year. Verse 23, three times in the year, all your men are to appear before Yahuwah. I'm sorry, are to appear before the Master Yahuwah, the Elohim of Yisrael. Verse 24, for I disposes nations before you, and shall enlarge your borders, and let no one covet your land when you go up, appear before Yahuwah, your Elohim, three times in the year. Verse 25, do not slay the blood of my slaughtering with leaven, and do not let the slaughtering of festivals of Pesha remain until morning. Verse 26, bring the first of the first fruits of your land to the house of Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. Verse 27, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, write these words, for according to the mouth of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Yisrael. Verse 28, and he was there with Yahuwah 40 days and 40 nights. He was there with Yahuwah 40 days and 40 nights. He did not eat bread, and he did not drink water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 words, the 10 words, the 10 words. That's the 10 commandments, the 10 words. Yeah. So that's actually biblical. The 10 commandments, 10 words is biblical. It's a thing. You know, it's a thing, it's a foundation. Verse 29, and it came to be when Moshe came down from Mount Sinai, while the two tablets of the witness were in Moshe's hand, when he came down from the mountain, that Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone, since he had spoken with him. So Moses didn't eat and drink for 40 days and 40 nights. And his skin was exposed. Like, then Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone, since he had spoken with him. Like, so something happened to Moses' face, man. Like, something was given off of Moses' face. Like, it was shining brighter than, it usually shine. Moses had a shiny face. Imagine if someone put Vaseline on the face. That's the only thing I can think of to describe how Moses' face might have looked. It basically shined harder than any face can shine, because it's been, listening to them face to face with the Most High for 40 days and 40 nights. So this face had to appear like a person with Vaseline on their face under a light. That's just to give you an idea of how Moses' face probably looked from being in front of the Most High, not eating for 40 days and 40 nights, not drinking water for 40 days and 40 nights. Just simply being in the presence of the Most High. It made his face shine. Verse 30, and Aaron and all the children of Israel looked at Moses and saw the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. He was afraid to come near him. The man's face was blinged out. Man's face was illuminate. You know what I mean? His face was illuminated, and they like, yo, what's up with your face? Like, what's up with your face? Verse 31. But Moshe called out to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned to him, and Moshe spoke to them. Verse 32. And afterwards all the children of Israel came there, and he commanded them all that Yahuwah had spoken with him on the Mount Sinai. Verse 33. And when Moses ended speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. You had to put a veil on that John, because, like, that John was doing too much shining. Verse 34. But whenever Moses went in before Yahuwah to speak with him, he would remove the veil until he came out. And when he came out, he spoke to the children of Israel what he had been commanded. So he was speaking with the veil over his face, because his face was just too shiny. Verse 35. And the children of Israel would see the face of Moshe, that the skin of Moshe's face shone. And Moshe would put the veil on his face again until he went in to speak with him, speak with the Most High. So yeah, man, we see like the, we see like Moses has some form of, you know, skin reaction to, being in front of the Most High for so long. And that yeah, the people was not with it. It was like, it's like something they never seen before. So anything that people never seen before, they're going to be bothered, concerned, and worried and scared. You know what I mean? So that was the book of Exodus, chapter 31 to 34. I'm gonna I'm gonna end this live, and I'm gonna pick it back up in the book of Jeremiah. I believe I'm in, or I think I'm in. Yeah, I believe I'm still in the book of Jeremiah. So I'm gonna end this live and pick it up in the book of Jeremiah. And y'all willing, you're able to, you know, return. But until then, I'm gonna, if not, I'm gonna bless us out according to the blessing that Moses was given to bless the people in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 23 to 26. Receive your blessing. May Yahuwah bless you, barak you, and guard you. May Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. May Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Till next time, Shabbat Shalom, peace and love. Love, peace, Shabbat Shalom.